know-it-alls crew out there. It's your boy Tate, one of the know-it-alls in the building, with some homies from the D, from the 313. My boys June and B-Fos in the building. We're here to come at you with the Central Division Showdown, our Fans First Sports Network basketball show about the Central Division and overall NBA because we getting down to, uh, you know, the last 3 or 4 games is this week. The Central Division currently, Chicago, they gonna make the play-in. If Chicago Bulls can win the play-in game, all 5 teams from the Central will represent the Eastern Conference with 5 spots out of 8 in the playoffs. So
Mm.
you need to see that. But to the homies, False, what's happening, man?
Hey man, just trying to get to the finish line, but feels good to clinch the 6th spot, man.
At least.
Yeah, at least. Yep. It's been a long time coming since since the team was respectable. So
Yeah, for sure.
You can kind of thank Cleveland for that too, man, because we let you have JB. We we
I
we
mean,
upgraded and we let y'all go ahead and get upgrade.
I mean, we didn't poach him away. You guys cut him loose, and we just, kind of.
That's true. That's true, Fall. I'm just trying to make some good Cleveland news out of it, man.
Yeah.
I was glad to see JB get another job though right away.
Yeah, it was like the story has it that he was on his way out of town when the Pistons contacted him, and he postponed his plans and doubled back to Detroit, and the rest is history.
Oh yeah, he was on his way fishing. He
Yeah,
was in Cancun with the boys.
yeah.
But June, what's up with you, man?
Oh man, not too much, man. I mean, it's April. It got a little bit of snow flurries up here in Detroit, and a little bit, what I'm saying. So it is what it is. What's up, Joey Linwood? Um, it is what it is, Other than that, everything's good. Tigers are playing good baseball. We got a national championship tonight, Houston versus Florida. Everything's good, man. I can't complain. Pistons playing right now or soon.
Are playing right now. They're up 15
playing right now.
in the first quarter. 17-14. And the Sacramento Kings beat us last night, us being the Cavs.
What is with y'all and the Kings, man?
They swept us this year.
That's
No.
crazy.
Those guys, the Houston Rockets, both swept us.
It's it's crazy because I think everything depends on matchups. Matchups can really be detrimental towards a team. I don't care how good they are. If they don't match up well versus a team, I mean, it is what it is. Especially in a regular season game. Now I don't too much worry about it. You make your adjustments in the playoffs, but a regular season you're just gonna play ball.
Yeah, because playoffs is a little different because the night before we almost gave a game away to somebody. Well, San Antonio was up by like 15 in the late third and only ended up winning by 1 point, 114, 113. And San Antonio on the Harrison Barnes shot had a chance to win it at the buzzer. Like, how do you get out of the way? I mean, I think playoff basketball is more of a matchup component, like you said. You get a day between to study the same team, look at films, how we're going to take this away.
Yeah.
Like I said, we play San Antonio Saturday night or Friday night, then boom, right to Sacramento. You know what I mean? It is a little different in the playoffs because you're playing the same team, best out of 7. And usually the cream rises to the top, but it don't always mean that though, right?
No, doesn't mean that.
Right. But, we'll see. We got one game. As far as the Cavs go, one game to clinch the Eastern Conference. So hopefully that happens tomorrow. Not even sure who we play. I know we play the Knicks one more time. I think we 62 and 16, 63 and 16. Then we got like 3 games left. But yeah, so we'll see what happens, man. But like I said to the people watching on YouTube or listening to audio, myself, June, and Foster here. We're missing a couple guys. Chicago Bulls guys hosted last week. They
Mm.
got guys saying they ran home. They ain't came back yet. I ain't seen them show their face.
Well, tomorrow they play you guys. You know that,
Yeah,
right?
that's right. That's right.
And
And
they were talking kind of heavy, like they can beat anybody, and they wanted you guys in the first round.
that is who we play tomorrow. You're right. And that's what I'm saying. Last Monday, that was all the talk. You know what I mean? But shout out to the homies, whoever that joins us from the frustrated Chicago sports fan for the bulletin board. We got the homie Pay, got GeeQue, we got Ricky Sway, we got Zeke,
Mm-hmm.
we got who we say was it J3?
I forget his name, but I know it's something like that.
Right.
Pardon
So,
if no disrespect if we get butchering the name there though.
I can't butcher a 3 and a J. It's some combination of that. I might just be putting one thing before the other the wrong way, but yeah.
Well, that was a show where you was messing his name up the very first show.
I remember that. I remember that because I couldn't see it good. But now, because of that, I remember what it was something like.
Yeah, I didn't. So I just, it is what
you would go a whole show and not address nobody by their name because you don't remember it.
I wasn't talking. I was saying the Chicago boys when it came to Ricky and Zeke. I was just like,
right.
I kept messing up the acronym. I'm like, I just Chicago. What's going on?
Right. But yeah, fellas. So we can, kind of just get into what's going on in the Central, talk about the overall playoff standings for the East and the West, and we can get ready to get out of here and go watch some national championship with Florida against Houston, like you said, June. So with that, we're gonna jump to the intro, and we're gonna get started. If you're watching on YouTube, we're not going nowhere. We'll take a quick pause right after the intro, and then we're gonna get to it, talking about what's going on in the Central Division as we speak. So stay with us. We'll be right back a few seconds after the intro. And we're back.
You had to do that. You just
hey man, that's the new intro, man. It's representative of the whole Central Division.
I hated that last part and the Halliburton part. Just
was the Halliburton part against y'all?
No, I just don't like Halliburton or his ugly looking shot.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But I mean, he's the best player on the team. I mean, I feel like earlier when we talked, and we already knew he was the best player on the team, but when we talked early in the season about it, somehow we got Pascal Siakam name up in there. Maybe it was because Halliburton was hurt. I don't know. But I remember that distinctly because I laughed.
I'm big on Siakam though. I think he's good. I think he's very good. I don't think he's better than Halliburton, but I think he's very, very good.
Yeah, so the only reason he could even potentially come up as the best player is because it had to be during the time when Halliburton was hurt.
Halliburton had you had talked about Indiana going through a regression. I think a lot of that had to do with Halliburton kind of not being
there. Well, we'll get into it because
not just not being there, but I feel like he was shaky for a while.
He was shaky early on because he came back from injury, I believe, and he was just shaky for the first 10, 15 games he is back.
Yeah.
And now, he showed up, but I'm gonna give you the question right now. Just save it till we talk about it, though. You think they're gonna win the first round of the playoffs? If they don't answer, that means regression.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, if I tell you what, if you play the Pistons, you in for the fight of your life.
Talk, Foster. Talk
Literally.
spicy, Foster.
I mean, because
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna come down to as far as the Bucks, the whether we're a fourth or fifth seed, it's gonna come, or fifth or sixth seed, it's gonna come down to those last two games against the Bucks. I think that should decide it, I would think.
Right. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and look at the Central real quick, man. I think pull the records up, the standings. So if you look to the left, we got the Central Division all by itself. We got the Cavs at 62-16. That's 78 games. So they have 4 games left this week.
Mm-hmm.
We have the Patriots at 47-31. They got 4 games left, and they're 3 games in front of the Bucks. So they should stay in second place in our division. I would feel like 3 games up with 4 games to play. What do you think?
Oh, the Pacers above.
Up far second place in the Central Division. They should maintain that. It looks like.
Yes,
I think the top 4 stay the same, and I think there's a possibility with the Bucks and the Pistons flip flopping, but it could very well be like this. Well, then you're looking at Magic and the Hawks, though.
he's talking about division, huh?
Let's talk about the Central because we got potentially all 5 division teams making the playoffs. Now, so it's not a whole lot to talk about there. So let's just jump on over to the Eastern Conference, right? So now you can go ahead and get into it, June, as far as potential matchups or what you see. What catches your eye here, man? Is there any chance Miami catches the Bulls? Well, it don't matter. They're 10. They're in the play-in. They don't need to catch the Bulls.
Right.
And so they're 1 game back. There's a chance they catch them, but like the Bulls could catch the Hawks, though, potentially.
Yeah.
They play this week.
Yeah. That bottom 7 through 10 could be crazy this last 4 or 5 games for them.
Right. I think the Heat will stay locked in at 10.
Yeah.
And then the other 3 could switch. But if it stays like it is now, who you like with the Bulls versus Heat and the Magic versus Hawks?
I like the Magic versus whoever they're going to play. I think their record is reflective of injuries, but they're all back. They're going to be a tough out in that first round. They will be a tough out in the first round. Yeah.
And, I feel like Rick last week and the hypeness from Pay, which is totally contrary to their takes previous to last week. I mean,
to being able to take out the Cavs in the first round.
Right. Well, it looks like they're going to be pretty much stuck at 8th in the 8th seed if they make it. Because I would rather play the Cavs than the Magic myself anyway. So come on with it.
You say you rather the Bulls than the Magic?
I'd rather play the Bulls than the Magic in the first round. If I had a choice,
Yeah, I agree. The Magic is going to be a tough out.
So, False, pick two playoff teams of the 4 play-in teams. Who you got? Which 2?
So the first round, the first set of matchups, if everything stays the same, what you said would be Bulls versus Heat and Magic versus Hawks?
not 9 plays 10.
Okay.
Somebody got to win 2 to make it 9-10, and somebody got to win 1 to make it 7-8.
I say Magic. I say Magic and Bulls, but
Magic and Bulls.
But you can't sleep on the Heat though. The Heat have a really good coach. Bam and Hero. It's just not. I guess it's probably just not enough beyond that. There's not that you can depend on. I think you can depend on Bam and Hero on any given night. But when you start talking about Highsmith and Vasquez, Rozier, you don't know what you're gonna get with Rozier. So that's where it gets tricky. I think the Bulls are. I don't know how they've been in the last 5 games. What's their record in the last? Oh, they're 7-3 in the last. They're still rolling at the right time. They got popped the other day. Who was that? OKC? Yeah, it was okay. Which take it for what it's worth because OKC is OKC. But the Bulls have been rolling.
They took a popping yesterday. OKC did.
They did. But
from the Lakers, when I looked at it, I didn't think Shea. They must have rested Shea. Nah, Shea played.
No, he played.
Right.
I think everybody played. Jalen Williams or one of the Jalen Williamses didn't play. I don't know which one, but one of them didn't play.
Okay, so
one being more significant than the other, of course.
Definitely. But they're we'll talk about the West. But so we got Magic, Bulls making it. Magic, therefore, being 7, Bulls being 8, getting what they asked for to play the Cavs. So let's dive in a little deeper, no Diddy, and talk about if things aligned as is.
Mm-hmm.
So you got Cavs, Hawks, Celtics, Magic. That's a tough first round series.
Mm-hmm.
You got Knicks, Pistons. Talk about that series, how you guys would see that playing out and just all those different things.
That's the matchup I want to see. I'd rather play the Knicks first. I think we match up well versus them. I think we have confidence playing them going into that series. And who knows what can happen after you mentally after you win a series, especially defeating a 3rd seed. You go out and you let it next round, you let it all, you let it all loose and just play. So yeah, I like that matchup. I'm more comfortable with playing the Knicks at 3 than I would playing the Pacers at 4.
Right. So you rather play the Knicks than the Pacers?
Yeah. Just because I've seen every single game they played versus both teams, and it just when it comes to Indiana, we just don't have the answers. With the Knicks,
what's your record against them this year?
1-2, I believe.
1-2.
Yeah, 2-1 versus the Knicks.
Okay. We anticipating Jalen Brunson being back for the start of the playoffs, aren't we?
We're gonna play. That's our next game. We're gonna get to see Jalen Brunson for a tune-up game right before the playoffs start. So that should be. Hopefully we play. Hopefully everybody on our team is healthy and ready to play, so we can actually get a nice little snapshot and preview of what that series can look like.
Right. Okay, we got Chicago representation in the building. The homie GeeQue in the house. I wouldn't even, not knowing, you got mute on Q, not knowing. Hey, welcome, man. I'm just gonna put this out there in the streets, man. Not knowing.
We seeing red. What we talking about, fellas? We seeing red? We should all be seeing red right now.
The beard a little bit.
Look. It's
no
running.
disrespect to Cleveland, Detroit, Indiana, whatever cities y'all representing. The NBA is a lot better when the Bulls are good. You know what I'm saying? Go get him.
Oh,
hey,
wow.
man.
Let's go. I'm hyped, fellas.
We know.
The last time, this is Chicago takeover right now. Y'all let me quarterback this. The last time I was on this show, I was real down about the Bulls. I wanted the lottery. I'm seeing red now, fellas. I'm seeing red. Hey, move with us or get moved around.
Oh,
I'm telling y'all.
Was that
playoff time?
Was that
y'all
before or after? Was that before or after we played y'all back to back in the United Center and left our Gators up in there, man?
Man, you still talking about the regular season?
Okay,
you still talking about the regular season?
That's
we headed to the playoffs. You ain't seen, man. We ain't worried about Atlanta, Orlando, or Miami. Let me tell you something. This version of Giddey and Kobe White, I'm not sure y'all want to see that.
We saw them.
Ask LeBron and Luka what we do to people. Ask them.
We did the same thing to LA though.
Y'all ain't do it the same way we did it.
We did it. We beat them twice. How many times?
Y'all ain't do it the same way we did it.
Well, y'all beat them with a lot.
Y'all ain't do nobody the way we did y'all either, though.
Man, you keep talking about the past.
You said
You keep talking about the past. That version of Giddy and Kobe White didn't exist.
Foster.
They got infinity rings now.
Let this is the red takeover. Let them have it.
It's the Chicago takeover.
Let them have it. Let them have it.
Will not go without some form of.
Let them have it, Foster. They're playing great ball.
Let me say this. Q, I'm gonna say that you was late because Pay just told you 5 minutes ago, like, oh, they started at 7 o'clock. So we're just gonna put that on Pay, and then I'm gonna come back to your take because this is the same take we heard last week. And I appreciate the energy. I appreciate the way you came out and said a month ago I wanted to tank. You open with that. I can respect that.
You wanted
Nobody last week did that. They was the best scoring team in the NBA. What'd you say?
I still take Cooper Flag. I'm working on it. we about to make some red flags pop up in his background. Don't worry. He said the N-word sometime on Twitter, and I'm gonna find it. And when I release that, when I release the social media using N-word, he's gonna slide right down to wherever we drafted that.
he gonna have to do more than that. They take it.
Yeah, it didn't work with Josh Allen. He's the MVP in the NFL right now.
You got a point. We'll work on finding some other things we can do to get Cooper Flag to see red. I don't know. Maybe we can find some assault or some robbery in his background, or I don't know.
There's something there.
It's something there.
Right,
you ain't gonna tell me. You ain't gonna tell me he's been a basketball phenom all this time and ain't done no wrong. Somebody done swept something under the rug. I just got to lift that rug up.
No doubt. But what gives you confidence with the way the Bulls are playing? Because last week's take was Montas is to be feared. Was Jalen? What's his name? Jalen. Huh?
I don't like that term. Bring it. I don't like the beef eater term.
I ain't say beef eater.
Feared.
Be feared.
Oh, be feared. Oh,
okay. I don't like that term either. I don't like beef eater either.
Oh, okay. Proceed. My ties was to be feared, and what?
Yeah, and Jalen. What's his name? Dalen Terry.
Dalen Terry
was a standout 3-and-D dude, basically, who's turned it around the last 10 games. And so that was Ricky and Pay's take last year, that they 3-point shooting has increased the last 10 games, and don't nobody want to see this team because you ain't seen this team yet. It's different. So where's your energy coming from?
I think realistically, they still got work to do on the roster. I don't expect an extended playoff run, but I do think that's not a low seed you want to play out of the 4 play-in teams. Orlando does have the 2 young studs, Banchero and what, but they got a lot of injuries though to the backcourt. I don't think Suggs is still out, right? Suggs isn't coming back this year.
I think Suggs is out this year, I believe.
Yeah, the Bulls are relatively healthy. Dalen Terry, he's improved. A lot of it doesn't show up in the statistical department, but I mean, they should have Lonzo Ball back. That's an experienced guy. That's a higher level 3-and-D guy. I think the Bulls in the first round, if they see Cleveland or Boston, I think they could take a game, maybe 2. I think they can push and make it a real dogfight of a series. And yeah, I don't think this version of Giddy and Kobe that's been unlocked since post All-Star, they giving teams fits. I said a couple years ago on the Bulls podcast that we probably haven't seen the best of Kobe White, and now that's coming to fruition. I called him like a I don't want to be disrespectful saying this, but I called him like, a lower version of Steph Curry with some of the things he can do in terms of the range and the I'm not saying he is Steph Curry. I'm saying like a lower version of what he brings to the Bulls, where you look at the I mean, there's games he's hitting 5 or 6 threes and shooting at 40 to 50% a clip. I think since post All-Star break, what is he shooting the 3 ball at? 43, 44%? I got to look at the numbers, but he's a guy that has a lot of range. He can get to the bucket. He's crafty. So you're seeing the growth of Kobe White since the All-Star break. He's averaging like 30 points. I mean, he's a walking bucket. He's played Eastern Conference Player of the Month. He's playing some of the best ball in the Eastern Conference. Might be arguably top 3 guards since the All-Star break. If this was the season he started with, he'd be for sure an All-Star with the way he's playing right now.
Can't argue with none of that.
No arguments.
And on top of that, the Bulls look like they this is a surprise to me because I wasn't excited about Giddey coming. I wasn't mad at him. I think it was a good risk, although I probably would have preferred a draft pick. But the Bulls look like they really won that trade with OKC. Now, OKC is in a different bracket. They didn't need Giddey for their roster. You got Jalen Williams ascending. You got SGA, of course, Chet Holmgren. They don't need Giddey. But as far as the Bulls getting rid of a veteran who wasn't, fitting with their timeline and making the team better, they look like they won. Both parties could win, to be honest with you. But the Bulls look like they won on their end.
I mean, they swapped out some youth for some veteran leadership and championship pedigree. I mean, Caruso's got a ring, right?
Yeah, I'm not saying OKC was made a fool because they really couldn't use Giddey. I mean, you got SGA, he's pretty ball dominant. Giddey can't be who he is over there. And then you got Jalen Williams ascending. So I'm saying on the Bulls end, it looks like they finally won or got favorable for their trade, because I don't think it was a better offer for Caruso. I heard the Warriors offered a first round pick, but that's towards where did the Warriors pick this year? 19, 20?
Right.
So I mean, I don't think you're gonna looking at this class. There was nobody that looks like a Giddey out of this class. I mean, it's early, but
it was a bad class.
No, it wasn't a good class. There was nothing to get later in the first round. So you got a player that you can at least use as a block going forward.
That comment. Oh my gosh.
Mr. Woodson.
Man, see why we got to be negative. We're having a good day, and we got to be.
That's the pass. That's the pass, right?
That's the pass. You know what I'm saying? Giddey didn't know. He got to start checking ID. That's all. That's all Mr. Giddey has to do. So I'm not blaming anybody for what happened, but sometimes these girls are a little, misleading. They're a little misleading.
That can happen, and maybe you can find some old footage or pictures of Cooper Flag hanging out with Giddey.
There you go. There you go.
That's only gonna burn. That's only gonna burn Giddey again on that one.
Giddey played for the Bulls already.
I gotta find Cooper Flag with some. Well, damn, how old is Cooper Flag?
He's actually younger because didn't he?
Yeah, he just turned 18, I believe, in December or January.
Yeah, he went up a grade. That's how crazy.
He's supposed to be a senior in high school right now.
Mm-hmm.
So what I got to do? Find him hanging out with a 13-year-old or something? Is that enough to ruin his rep?
Wow, you are putting a lot of bad juju on this man.
I mean, but it could end up being a positive story. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
wow.
Chicago will be the one to say we'll take anybody.
Chicago has done well with guys who like underage women. I'm not saying that it's a good thing. I'm just saying R. Kelly is a Grammy winner.
Kelly is in prison right now. Is that good?
Okay, that's how it ended. But let's not look at the ending. Let's look at the whole story. There was a lot of good music. I'm sure you jammed out to a lot of R. Kelly songs. Some of us were made off R. Kelly. That bump and grind. That's from. I'm just saying he's put out a lot of classic music. Now, I'm not advocating for him to be free. He is where he is, but during his time of being free, he put out a lot of good content. You know what I'm saying? Some classics. Where would the world be without R. Kelly? That's all. That's the only question I got. Where would we be without R. Kelly right now?
Less populated.
Let me know.
He was telling on himself right there. He told on himself right there. The first song.
That's guilt right there.
Everybody with I don't understand how people have this backlash against celebrities like Donald Trump, R. Kelly. They tell you exactly what they're going to do before they do it. They tell you exactly. R. Kelly said, "My mind is telling me no, but my body." He told you what he was on. I blame the public and I blame the prosecutors. Should have locked him away a long time ago.
Hey man, let's get back to hoop.
Yeah, man. This is
yeah. Y'all gonna let me get canceled. Y'all gonna stop letting me talk before I get all of us canceled.
Well, you know, it's Red Flag Monday, so you know,
Man, freedom of
Yeah,
speech. Y'all gotta stop me because I'll abuse it.
we let you cook, man. But let's talk about real quick before we go to break. Tomorrow's matchup, the Bulls and Cavs play. I'm not sure where it's at. Is that in Cleveland or Chicago?
Don't matter. We want all the smoke. Don't matter. We need to give them a preview of what they gonna see later in April.
Well,
We want the smoke.
Okay, we ain't got nobody from the frustrated Chicago sports fan talking any more sensical than they were last week. So, okay, I'm gonna say this.
We see red. I'm talking about logic. We see red.
Yeah, they crashing all the way out right now. Just reckless abandon.
Is it as if they had a team full of YNs? They're crashing out.
Going crazy. And we got a team full of YCs. Them young Caucasians is different. Montage, Diddy.
Yeah, they scared
Nico,
of me.
Kevin.
Yeah, man. Okay.
We making the Bulls great again. That's what we're doing. That's why we need Cooper Flag to complete this lineup. Make Bulls great again.
Hey, I'm with you, man. So tomorrow's matchup, it don't matter. How you see things playing out then? Because Cleveland actually lost last night. They need to win one more game to go ahead and clinch the East. So I think this game matters to them. Probably the last game they start cycle resting people for the rest of the season, the last 3 games after tomorrow. But I think tomorrow will be their last what you call it, last full dress rehearsal tomorrow. So and who better to play against than the team you potentially looking at facing in the playoffs in another week?
I got the Bulls going to Cleveland and sending a message tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Of what?
No, Donovan Mitchell out. Y'all got to deal with Giddey. Y'all got to deal with Kobe White. Darius Garland's still a little fella down there. We gonna key in on him. Go after the little fella.
Yeah, he had 9 points against the Kings. That was not good.
Yeah, that wasn't good. But I mean, it's always somebody step up. Ty Jerome played decent last night. I think you're gonna get a good game from Evan Mobley tomorrow. So if Donovan's not playing, I wasn't aware Donovan wasn't playing. I knew he was. I thought the day rest today was gonna help his ankle because he did come back. But we'll see. We'll see tomorrow. I mean, and we'll talk about it next Monday for sure. However it go, because next Monday we'll be talking about that game and then the playoff preview in totality because it'll be set. It'll be set by next Monday. So, fellas, we're gonna take a quick break real quick. If you're watching on YouTube, we're not going anywhere. We're just gonna take a pause for the calls, pay a few bills. On our audio listeners to hear a few words from our partners and advertisers, and we'll be right back after this. Stay with us. And we're back on the Central Division Showdown on the Know-It-Alls channel this week, hosting with the homies in the building. We got the boy B-Fos in the building, and GeeQue from the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan, and B-Fos Road Dog with the Bleachers and Speakers podcast, the Post Game Pistons. We got the homie June, the only other OEN like me in the building. So we got one of these young gunners out of control over here tonight, seeing red.
Hey man,
red rage.
Let him have it, bro. Don't stop the energy. Let him have his way, man. They're playing good ball right now. It's been a long season. It's turn up.
Yeah, it's been a long season.
I like that, June. I agree.
I like the energy.
Yeah,
we got to bring some energy. We got to bring the energy back to the fan base. It's only so long we could watch the Last Dance reruns. So we got to bring the energy back.
Well, if all the fans is like y'all, that energy just came back just like that too. Because y'all energy wasn't there a month ago. That's what I told Ricky and Tate last week. Y'all was pooping for Coop and the Bulls don't know how to lose right and everything else. Then all of a sudden, They win like 8 out of 10, and now we seeing red. It's this, it's that.
We seeing red, man. It changes on a day-to-day basis.
We know that part. We definitely know that part. But man, so I would like to see the Bulls make it because I would like to see, just because all the banter back and forth the last week anyway, I'd like to see them play the Cavs in the playoffs. The Pistons and Pacers. We probably should have 5 teams in the playoffs, and we'll get a lot of Central Division matchups over the course of the first 2 rounds anyway, right?
Yeah.
Because after the first 2 rounds, we will just get right down to it. It's going to be Cleveland, Boston. I think we all kind of got that in the back of our minds, but it's upsets happen.
That's the collision course all season. That's the collision course.
Yeah, so let's talk about the Western Conference now, right? In the West, you got OKC. They've been running away with it, right? If you look all the way to the right column, it's our Western Conference column up to date before tonight's games. The Thunder 64-14. The YN Rockets are 52-27. Hold on. Look, I think they should be locked in a second. I think the bigger story is if the Lakers can hold on to that third place. I think that'd be good for the Lakers. But then they looking to be on a matchup with either the Warriors or the Clippers probably. But no, you can't count none of them out because all the way down to 8, they got the same amount of losses.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Man, that Lakers versus Warriors, if that's the first round matchup, man, that's going to be must-see TV first round.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, I agree if it stays like that, but that's what we're saying is, although that could flip any kind of way from 4 to 8.
Yeah.
That could. And I wonder if you're going to see some teams kind of resting players to get them favorable matchups.
That's true.
But you're saying 4 through 8, 3 through 8, actually, because
the Lakers ain't out of they're not locked up.
Yeah.
But I think I agree with you, but I think the worst the Lakers finish is with 32 losses. I think they go at least 2-2 the last 4 games. So
who they got?
You would think.
I don't know who they got. I think they just go 2-2 at worst.
Well, we know they definitely don't want to be in the play-in, but could they avoid that 3 seed if it's a matchup with the Warriors? What do y'all think?
I think that's the worst case scenario for them to face Golden State in the first round, because the Warriors, when they play at the Lakers, it's not that big of a home field court advantage for the Lakers. Like they cheer just as much for Steph as they do anybody else in that building. I watched the game the other night, and I couldn't tell just listening who was at home.
Wow.
Yeah,
but they'll still have the same advantage. They'll still have an advantage over the Clippers, even though them and the Clippers share the same city and share stadium. That's okay.
Yeah. It's different than it's even different than playing the Clippers. The Lakers playing the Clippers. Like the Lakers have an advantage over the Clippers at home as far as the crowd. There's a big,
probably even on the road. Well, the road, probably even over the road. But I don't think the Clippers is a. They're not going to roll over and die. Not if Kawhi's knee holds up. Not the way he's been playing.
They've been playing great basketball. The Clippers have. So that 3 through 8 situation, I mean, that could play out in a lot.
Who's your surprise? Because I've been on this team all year. Far as from the beginning, I picked them to be good again. They weren't as good as I thought they'd be, but I've liked Minnesota all year, and they finally starting to play better, and I think getting healthy. And I think, and I've probably said it here before, I think they just have a grit and grind, a tough mentality with their players that I think they could be a problem, a tough out for anybody that they play in the first round. And right now they're in the play-in.
Yeah, they're tied for that last playing spot with Golden State. I think realistically, I think that's probably who the Lakers would most want to see out of the Nuggets, Clippers, or Warriors. But yeah, I mean, I didn't like the Julius Randle trade, and I think they regressed a little bit. But yeah, I think they're a tough out too. But I think that's who the Lakers would most want to play out of all those teams, including the Grizzlies too.
You think the Lakers rather play the Timberwolves over the Grizzlies?
Those two as in before they played the Warriors or the Clippers.
Including they rather play either Timberwolves or the
Yeah.
Grizzlies.
Yeah.
I concur with that. I agree. I mean, but could be the Kings and Mavericks. Maybe they would love to play. Well, Lakers wouldn't play none of them though, because they could because we talking about teams that are all tied. So the Lakers would have to play whoever's at 6. They probably rather see Golden State past the Clippers. I think they'd rather play the Clippers over the Warriors. I think they probably rather play. I'd probably rather play the Clippers over the Timberwolves myself, though. If I'm LA,
I don't know. I mean,
you never got to leave home even for road games. That's beneficial to LeBron and Luka. To me,
that's true. But the Clippers got a lot of playoff experience. Now, Harden hasn't always had great playoff experiences, but man, Kawhi. I mean, if that knee holds up, he's hell.
Who got hurt before the playoffs started? Was that Paul George or was that him last? I think one of them.
I think both of them were hurt last year, right?
Oh yeah, so there you go. I mean, I guess they'll be healthy this year. Well, I guess Kawhi will be healthy this year, but you never do know with him.
No,
you never know. But he's got help. He doesn't have to burden the scoring load against the Lakers. I mean, he could focus on frustrating Luka or LeBron on the defensive end. You got Powell. Powell is averaging, what is he averaging? 24, 25 a game. You still got Harden there, so
yeah. Powell.
I think they got like 3 players average like 22. Powell, Harden, and Kawhi. You probably got Zubac around 18. So yeah, they scoring spread out.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Luka still. Yeah. I don't know if it's just y'all, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just noticing it. I always knew Luka wasn't a good defender, but man, looking at these games in LA, he looks awful.
Cement boots.
Awful. Boots. Man, he has no lateral agility and ability to defend in space. Like, man, that's troubling if the Lakers got to run into a team that has 3 guys who can get buckets like that. Like, where do you hide Luka at?
It's just kind of weird to say, "Oh, we got Norman Powell." Like,
it sounds weird, but
Norman Powell be balling, bro.
This year he's been, but
it's been.
I'm kind of with Foss. I mean, the trend line says he's having a great season, trending up, but the baseline says he's Norman Powell. I mean, Norman Powell, will you please stand up when the playoffs start?
Are y'all saying that it's going to strike midnight on Cinderella when the playoffs start for Powell?
Last 3 games, 9, 14, 11. Yeah.
So he's going back to, and the crazy thing about Norman Powell's ascent is he's 30 plus. Like,
he's 31.
But becoming a 20 plus point scorer at 31 is crazy. I remember this guy as a journeyman pretty much.
Right.
Toronto,
bench player.
Portland.
Yeah. I remember him being
Toronto,
man, he wasn't even the 6th man. Like, he was just a guy. I mean, but yeah, I mean,
sounds fluky to me.
Strange, but you gotta respect him. He's been doing this for the course of the entire year, so I got no choice to believe that this is going to be him in the playoffs too.
Come on, Q. You a basketball aficionado, man. I didn't talk to you enough. I know you know sports, so therefore you know the playoffs is different.
Playoffs is different. Beast. They are.
I mean, I was telling Ricky last week about the Bulls. He talking about Dalen Terry. I was like, man, I've been dealing with Isaac Okoro for the last 2-3 years. He hitting threes at 38, 39%. When he get to the playoffs, we can't even play him no more. I seen it.
Dalen Terry was a little. He might have had a couple good games, maybe or something, but that was kind of like off the.
I'm just saying you can't count on that going to the playoffs. You count on Kobe White, yeah, you count on him. You can count on Vooch to do what he do.
I wish Dalen Terry was Norman Powell. I don't share the excitement about Dalen Terry. I'm hoping Lonzo Ball can put his knees and wrists back together. They can tape him up, and he can go out there. I have a lot more faith in Lonzo Ball. I know Pat Williams is pretty disappointing, but I still think he's a better option than Dalen Terry.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I mean, Pat Williams is more disappointing because he's a top 4 pick. But I think when you evaluate them both independently and take away draft position, I think Pat Williams is a better option for the rotation than Dalen Terry.
I think for far as the Bulls go, I think Pat Williams just got to change his game. He got to realize that he's not that fourth overall pick yet, and
Or ever.
You say yet? No, that's over.
No,
Yeah, I think the
he
ship
got
is there.
he can't lose his confidence. He has to think, yeah, I'm gonna show him eventually one day, 1 year. But I'm saying right now, he gotta change his game to being a glue guy, rebound, play defense, block shots. That's what he gotta do. He can't look to go out there and make baskets. If you get baskets, it's gonna be garbage baskets and putbacks. You gotta go and play with that energy.
He's become pretty much a 3-and-D guy and defender, but I would love to see him become, like you said, more of the glue guy, play with more energy and crash the boards. Because I think right now, at least on this team, that's what his role has got to be. I don't see it changing. I mean, they've gotten rid of DeRozan, they've gotten rid of Levine, and he still hasn't ascended. This was your time to step up. Kobe stepped up when each of those guys left, and he burned it, and he's rolled with it. He's going to parlay that and become a rich man when he sits down at the table, whether the Bulls want to extend him or somebody else. Kobe's going to get paid. He'll get paid handsomely. He's one of the best bargains in the league right now at the contract they got him for.
Mm-hmm.
Agree. I agree with that. I mean, yeah, because he signed his first extension, right?
3 years, $42 million. So he's you ain't gonna get that type of production.
Nah.
Crazy.
So
Yeah.
he only getting paid $14 million a year?
He's getting paid less than Pat, yeah.
But when he signed that like a year and a half ago, he hadn't really done it. I mean,
no, he was coming off when he signed that, he had been benched, kind of fell out the rotation, then got back into the rotation right before the play-in. So I mean, yeah, based on what he was doing, that was a cool contract then, but he's way outplayed that contract. I mean, with the way NBA contracts are, Kobe probably, I think he's getting 42. He got signed for 42 or 39. I can't remember, but he'll get that annually right now.
Yeah, he's definitely probably worth more with the current market, but he's definitely a $40+ million player. Easy.
Oh yeah, easy.
That sounds crazy, but
that's where the contracts are going. I mean, if he hit the open market, you're not going to get him for no less than 38, 39 million, 40 million. He's 25, shooting like that.
Yeah, he's
as much as shooting his value. I mean, you look around the league. What did Suggs? What did Jalen Suggs just get? What's he getting right now?
A lot of. I don't know though.
I want to say he's in the high 30s with his extension.
Contract.
35 million a year.
Yeah, 30.
35 million is what the Magic are playing Jalen Suggs.
If Suggs getting 35, then Kobe gonna get what he got in 3 years per year. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because all Suggs doing is playing defense for real. Is he even really
and not knocking down shots?
Yeah, he signed a 5-year, $150 million deal.
His averages, he gets 16 points a game. Yeah, I guess. Shooting 31% from 3 and 40.
Kobe gonna get paid.
Yeah, Kobe gonna get paid.
Yeah,
that part we all agree on that one too. So, fellas, we're gonna get ready to wrap up. Let everybody get your little snack plates ready and stuff for the game tonight. I don't know, whatever you got.
What y'all got?
I'm gonna go with
as far as the game go. I got Houston myself.
I'm pulling for Houston for sure.
June?
Houston.
Q?
I guess I'm in the minority. I'm going Florida.
I don't really know a lot about Florida. I really haven't
I haven't watched college ball too much this year. I just this year, one of the few years I haven't watched any college ball, but I've been keeping up a little bit, and I don't know. I think it's another year for Florida. They add another natty.
I mean, like they've been doing them for the past 15. Their last one got it was old man Al Horford for the Celtics was on that team. So
they overdue. Yeah, they overdue.
Noah, yeah.
Yeah, Noah and Horford played together.
Yeah. It's
And the
been that
boy,
long?
Corey, what was his name? Played for Minnesota
That's
Timberwolves.
a throwback. Brewer.
Corey Brewer. Yeah.
Throwback.
They was stat.
Yeah, that
Was that Mike? No, that was before Mike. That was after Mike Miller, right?
He was on one of them teams, I believe. Foss. I know they play. I know Mike Miller was in the championship versus Duke and lost. So.
Yeah, I think Mike
Mike Miller
maybe about 06.
I think he older than them. Either that or
Yeah,
he
I know he
didn't
was,
last in the league as long, maybe. Well, he probably retired around the time that Noah did.
Yeah,
Mike Miller was on a very good Florida team, though. They went to the national championship while he was on the team. They just lost. I think they lost to. It might have been State, Michigan.
No, that's back when Billy Donovan could really coach.
Yeah.
You know, but not against Billy Donovan.
Shots fired.
But so I'm just gonna ask to close out. I'm just gonna ask.
Snipe old Billy D.
What you say now? What y'all say?
Snipe Billy D.
You just sniped him.
But I'm gonna ask a couple questions before we get out of here. Just random questions, nothing about your team specifically, just random questions in general. Foss, I'm gonna come to you first.
Pause.
What you? Nah, well, yeah, I guess to you, but
that was crazy.
You know, we get so adolescent and passionate with that. I'm guilty of it all the time. So you know, one of my coaches, another show, say I work with 15-year-olds because it's all the
No Diddy. You got to chill.
So that's to myself. But False. Question to you. What do you think LeBron will do in the playoffs this year?
I mean, I think he puts up a valiant effort. I think that it's definitely going to. I'm sure they're glad they're not playing Denver in the first round this year because we all know how that would go. But I think he plays. I think he plays well. He's on bought time at this point. You know, no knock to him, but you know he is getting up there in years, and yeah, he's trying to make that push. They blessed him. They brought another superstar in to play with him, so they're definitely gonna put their best foot forward with this.
Do his numbers go up? I think for the season he like 24, 7-7, something like that. Do his playoff numbers go up?
They probably
will.
They probably do. Yeah, I think so. That ain't bad, but yeah.
Q. Is and should Boston be the favorites to repeat?
I got OKC as the favorites, but until you knock the champion off, I think Boston got to be the favorite to come out the East. They're a young, proven commodity, and they're deep. You know, going into the playoffs healthy with that roster. I mean, it's hard to. I mean, OKC, I'm pulling for them, but it seems like in the NBA you got to take them lumps. Every team is taking their lumps before they ascend to that championship level. So I guess maybe personally I got OKC, but I could definitely see why somebody would say, yeah, I could see Boston being the favorites to repeat. Nah, I done talked myself into it. Yes, I'm going with yes.
Boston took those lumps. You know, they were trying to say that Jaylen Brown and Tatum couldn't work together. So
yeah, they were. It sounded like they were this close to breaking that duo up, and I thought that was crazy. But
yeah. So the most significant piece to Boston repeating is what needs to happen. What do you think?
What needs to happen?
Yeah, like what part of that needs to play really well, or what do they need to do in the playoffs as a team, collective what?
Porzingis staying healthy.
That was my thing. That was mine.
He is the key. If Unicorn is playing like Unicorn can play and he can be there every night, I really don't see anybody beating them in the East. I don't know if OKC can beat them because I mean the size, the shooting ability, he opens so much of the floor up for Tatum and Brown. Yeah, if he's healthy, I think they just got too much shooting, too much length. If he's healthy, I really can't see anybody beating him. I think OKC is right there, but like I said, in the NBA, you generally take them lumps. You get knocked down when you get to the doorstep at least 2 or 3 times.
It's always been a rite of passage. You have to.
There's been a rite of passage.
Keep knocking, and they'll let you in. You got to kick it down eventually. So that's how that usually works. June, to you, man. What do you think? What question did I have? What being a 2 seed in the West, what do you think the Rockets can do? Do they get out the first round?
Of course, they get out the first round. That shouldn't be a problem. That shouldn't be a problem, especially the way they've been playing lately. So I didn't expect them to do the things they were doing to be number 2 at the beginning of the season, but they've held up on their end of the bargain. They've been playing, and lately they've been playing some great basketball. So yeah, I think they beat whoever they have in the first round.
And it could be any one of those teams. We talked about 5 teams got 32 losses, so anybody could fit into that 7th seed. But okay, with that question, June, there's been talk this past week. Kevin Durant could potentially be traded. One of the potential suitors is Houston Rockets. Would you give up Jabari Smith, the annoying dude that played defense, Dylan Brooks, and the YC they drafted last year out of Kentucky? Name misses me.
Oh, Shepherd.
Oh,
that's an easy deal.
Yeah. I do that.
That's nothing.
That's what the speculation and offer that's out there is about.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing. I would do it, but my question for Houston getting out the first round is Jalen Green good enough go-to guy for them to go toe-to-toe in the last few minutes with somebody who is putting Anthony Edwards out there, or Steph Curry if he's, the Warriors they probably wouldn't be the 7th seed, but yeah, do you have faith in Jalen Green outdueling Anthony Edwards? Because in the playoffs, it comes down to your stars being better than their stars. You know what I'm saying? The Rockets have a well-balanced team, but I'm not sold that when it comes down to those last minutes, they're going to be able to outduel the Grizzlies with Ja Morant or Anthony Edwards in the Timberwolves. That's my only question for the Rockets.
Q, that's a very good point, because that speaks directly to this trade we talk about. They trying to get a guy. Right.
And they need that. They need that. I mean, if you could keep Sephiroth and Jalen Green and add that and put Durant in that mix as your big 3, I'm not too worried about losing Jabari Smith. You saw Torrey Eason step in and play really good ball when he was hurt. So yeah, I think the Rockets should part with them young guys, though. Part with them before they leave anyways.
Can't pay them,
right.
So that's why they were going after De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox would have been another one of those guys, and he's from Texas too, or no, he's from Houston, or Dallas. He's from somewhere in Texas,
right? But that, I don't know if that would have been as great a fit. I mean, I think he fits anywhere, but they got Van Fleet.
Yeah, I think you take your chances and trade Van Vliet if that's the case. He's
Fox younger, higher ceiling. Yeah, I could see. Even though I like Fred Van Fleet, he's got that championship pedigree too. So I do like Van Fleet.
Right.
I would love that Rockets roster if they add Durant to what they already have.
Yeah. I'm so tired of Durant moving, like, bro.
Yeah, man. For a Hall of what team is this gonna be like? What is he going to the Hall of? I guess he goes to the Hall of Fame. Who?
The Supersonics.
Man, he done played on so many random teams. Like, he's a journey. I've never seen a superstar at this level in his prime just move from team to team.
Probably the Warriors.
He was only there for 3 years, though.
He won a championship.
But is that a thing in basketball, though? Like, in football, you go in under a uniform.
Yeah.
In basketball, is it the same thing? I don't know.
I'm just talking about where we remember him as a collective at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it got it. To me, it got to be OKC and Golden State. He won his MVPs in OKC or his MVP, and he got Finals MVPs in Golden State
Yeah.
with Steph Curry's team.
But it's just strange to see a player at that high of a level just be moved about year after year. You know what I'm saying?
He moved around like Dylan Wright. Like, I mean, how many teams he didn't play for?
Man,
Role player.
I'm saying
those role players move around, but the star he's supposed to be getting built around. I thought.
Well, he typically asks for it though,
which is
you know what I mean?
Which is whack.
Don't make it no better.
Right. I'm saying he's doing it to himself.
Yeah.
Now, one thing about it, no one's running him out of town. You know.
Yeah, he's become a basketball mercenary.
Hired gun. Yeah. You're right. But it ain't worked since he went to Golden State. And that was 10 years ago almost.
Yeah.
It was 10 years ago.
That time is gone.
No.
It wasn't.
No, they went and got him 10 years ago because they knew they weren't going to be able to do nothing with Bron.
Okay.
They went to the Hamptons and Bron. Come on, man. We need you, KD, to beat Bron. Him and Kyrie and Kevin Love, they gonna be. We barely got them last year. They got us this year. You know, that first year they got them. They almost got us, and we playing against Dellavedova. Kyrie wasn't there. I mean, so that kind of changed everything. But fellas, go ahead and give your parting shot, whatever you talk about, whatever you want to put out there. You know, just go ahead and say it. Pay was in here for a minute, Q. He was supporting you talking that beep. So he's seeing red still too. And he was lowest on the Bulls of everybody. Maybe we just heard it more from him.
Yes, he was.
Man.
Only high on Kobe White.
Right. Kobe White. When we talk about C-Red gang, you know, shout out to Pay, but he more affiliate though. You know what I'm saying? He's not gang, you know what I'm saying? He's like an affiliate. He like one of them dudes that don't live in the hood, but he got a cousin from the hood. So, you know, when we outside sliding, he might jump in the car with us.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? We don't consider him official gang. Like he from another neighborhood, but he got relatives.
Yeah, he got people on
gang. So you know, he'll stand on the block with us though and post up. And, you know, if we see ops, you know, he on that car too. You know, he hop in the car and slide with us. But no, he not official C-Red gang though. Just an affiliate.
Oh, so he got people on 63rd and Lawrence, but he
ain't from here. You know what I'm saying? He just got cousins, so he politic with us. But no, he from like 79th or something though. He not from 63rd.
Okay.
He said or something. But okay, so what you thinking, man, for the week? I mean, let me ask you this question. Nothing to do with the Bulls. Who do you want the Bears to draft with their first round pick?
Man, me and Pate broke down a lot of film. I would love and people have questions about this guy, about what he's going to play. I would love Jalen Walker to slide to 10. I don't know if y'all seen the tape. I know the measurables came out. He's 6'1", 243 when he was at when he was at Georgia. You know, he played that off-ball linebacker, but that speaks to his versatility. This guy is a weapon. This guy's going to be a centerpiece for a defense at the next level. You know, he was only playing off-ball linebacker because Georgia's so stacked. They had Michael Williams at edge, and I can't think of the other guy. But I would love Jalen Walker to slide to number 10. For a guy 6'1", 243, when he's rushing as an edge, the speed to power translation is beautiful. And he's such a natural pass rusher in terms of balance, leverage, lean, maintaining power after the speed rush. He's got everything. And even for a guy's side, he's able to hold the point and run support. Like, I really encourage y'all to watch that film of Jalen Walker. Really impressive stuff in beating guys who are going to be at the next level. Like, I saw him make Mimble look silly in a couple one-on-one reps. I would love Jalen Walker to slide to 10. That's a guy that's nobody really talking about to the Bears at 10. I know people talked about John T. or Will Campbell or Mimble. I would love Walker to slide to 10.
Okay. So no, you prefer him over O-line?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't be mad at Mimble though, but as far as my favorite right now is Jalen Walker, but I'm kind of thinking he doesn't get past. I don't know if he gets past the Raiders or the Panthers, though. The Panthers been looking for an edge for a while to replace Burns, so I'm thinking he gets snatched up there. Pete Carroll wants him to be the guy playing opposite Max Crosby.
Okay. So, Boss, tell us what you got going on. I know your Detroit Tigers are 6-1 after the last 7 after starting 0-4. We talked about that. You got your Tigers podcast. Tell us about it. Tell us about the post game with the Pistons, and tell us about who you just put it out there. We talked about it briefly. Put who you want to see the Lions draft. Then June, the same questions to you after that.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on. April is always a busy month for Detroit sports. And, right now, pretty much all our teams are competitive. Obviously, we have the draft going on. So we've been covering some of the prospects and doing profiles. So they can definitely look out for that. As you said, the Tigers are playing pretty well. So we do a weekly show on, right now it's been Sundays to recap the week in baseball. And, yeah, of course, everybody, if you're watching, that we cover the Pistons as well. As far as who we desire at that 28th position, I think the dream pick would be Mike Green out of Marshall. I think he led the FBS in sacks this past year. I think he will be a dynamic option opposite our All-Pro Aiden Hutchinson, but yeah, I think that any of the, James Pierce, we like the versatility of Michael Williams. That would be a nice little, versatile piece at the edge position. But when it's all said and done, we're going to get the best available player that fits our mold, so that, just very well might be a guard, or maybe one of those receivers will fall. We definitely want to get younger at the receiver position. So there should be some good available players, even at the 28th position.
Okay.
I got a question for you. I know you all been looking for a guy opposite Aiden Hutchinson for a while. If Pierce or Mike Green slipped that far, and I'm assuming you understand the red flags about them, would you love to see them in a Lions uniform?
Yeah, I think Green is I think the fan base would go crazy if Green was there. You said Pierce. You said Pierce was
Pierce or Green.
Yeah, I can't.
Pierce from Tennessee, right? That's
yeah.
I like Pierce too. I mean, he's got he's almost built like a safety, but he's another guy where you can't just look at his. I mean, he holds well in when he wants to defend against run. That's the thing. Like he comes with them character, with them flags about the effort against the run game, but strong kid. I know he looks lean, but he holds the point really well too. Like, I don't think he should get out the first round, but they're talking about him sliding. Mike Green, I'm up in the air about him, but his red flags, that's scary.
Yeah, that's the dirt. That's the dirt you're looking for on Cooper Flag right now.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that on the air, but
now you want to be reserved and don't.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You just talked about R. Kelly and all that. Now
now he's like, I don't want to say, but no, Pierce is pretty lean. He's 243 pounds, so not very stout, but you put him in a weight program and magically he's 15 pounds of muscle, 20 pounds of muscle in that guy, and you got a monster. So
but also when you're playing with a lead and forcing teams to pass, and you got a monster like Pierce coming off the edge, you don't have to worry too much about teams trying to run the ball. If you're playing that Lion style of football, or you building up a lead, if the team is down 10 or 13 in a second quarter, and they're kind of having to pass to keep up, and you got Pierce out there, man, that guy turned into 4.47. What did he run? 4.47 at the combine?
I think, yeah. And he doesn't have to come in right away. The one thing about getting drafted to a team that is drafting at 28th, normally you don't have to come in and play all 4 downs right away. You can develop him and kind of pigeonhole him in specific roles, even if that is just 25 snaps a game, just pinning your ears back and going after the quarterback.
That would be a great role for Pierce. I think if he ends up with the Ravens or Lions.
Oh God, not the Ravens don't need any more. They
don't. But I'm saying the way it's looking.
It happens though. It happens though for sure.
Okay. So Mike Green, June, to you, man. So for you, change up the first question. Who do you want to see the Pistons match up against in the playoffs, and then give me your draft pick for the Lions?
Well, you know what it is, man. We want to see the Knicks. We're like I said, I'm comfortable with them staying at 6 and playing the Knicks if they stay at 3. I think we match up well against them. I know we don't back down when it comes to them, and that's who I want to see. I want to see the Pistons play the Knicks. I feel more comfortable with the Knicks playing the Knicks than I would playing the Pacers in the first round or Milwaukee in the first round.
Okay. I like that. I mean, the Knicks, Jalen Brunson's been hurt, so I can't give a true assessment on what they look like in the playoffs yet, even though I don't think they're a team to be scared of. They'll be better with Jalen Brunson when he's playing because they've been catching some L's. I know Cleveland outscored them like 74-36 in the second half last week. I think they was up like 15 at halftime. But your draft pick, June, for the Lions, man, your ideal draft pick at 28.
I don't have an ideal person. I just know there's some needs that need to be addressed at 28. If you don't have your guy, I don't know who it is, but if they don't have the guy that they want at 28 from a pass rushing standpoint, I wouldn't mind if they went offensive guard. So whoever that they may be, or if they're high on this, if an offensive guard happens to fall that they didn't think would be there, the draft is so deep with these pass rushers. You might be able to pass on your pass rusher and get the offensive guard you didn't think you could have. I wouldn't be mad if they did that, but me personally, I address the pass rush, whether it's Pierce or Mike Green, just address the pass rush. I would like to see that at 28.
Okay. Well, for me, as far as the basketball part of it goes, the NBA, we are here for the Central Division Showdown. I like to see of the teams there's potential. I mean, let's give everybody in the Central Division Showdown world what they asking for. Let's go ahead and Cavs versus Bulls. Let's get that smoke.
Yeah,
we want that smoke.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it'd be fun. It'd be good for this particular show. I'm sure you'll hear a lot of back and forth as the series goes on till it gets to be like 3-0. Then I think folks start to pipe down around here, around Chicago. You know, they might be seeing pink by then, but for now, let's see that one. Far as my football take go, y'all know I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. It's over my shoulder right there. You see it. But man, so many things. We pick at 21. I think we probably go defensive tackle. Maybe your boy June, Kenneth Grant from Michigan.
Yeah,
he sounds to be like the front runner. But again, like you said, the defensive line is so deep. You can kind of pass on that and get maybe not Kenneth Grant, but get somebody really good later in the third round, or if they even trade back Pittsburgh and acquire another third round pick or late second round pick, and then address it that way. But so I think
what y'all gonna do at quarterback? That's what I want. What is y'all doing at quarterback?
Here we go.
I think he gonna sign over his part of ownership of the Bears to somebody so he can sign with the Steelers. Aaron Rodgers, I believe, is going to announce Wednesday on the Pat McAfee show. Aaron from Pat McAfee's hometown in Pittsburgh. I think he's going to say on there that he's going to be with the Steelers. They're on a 1-year deal, so Steelers could still go quarterback, or they could just pick, and then next year with a heftier quarterback class, they try and get that guy because they loaded up on some compensatory picks. We don't know which ones yet, but they've lost like about 5 or 6 starter guys with decent contracts where they're going to get maybe 2 or 3 third round picks and maybe a 4th for Justin Fields. But we traded for 6, you know that, Q, and probably a 5th or 6th somewhere in there. But so they'll have ammunition to work with next year. So I'm not sold on quarterback this year, but I wouldn't be mad if they took their shot, man, and got Jalen Milroe. I know a lot of Pittsburgh fans is against it, but they was against it when I was saying in 2020 get Jalen Hurts. Oh, they was all against it. You know what I mean? When they took Terrell Edmonds and safety for 4 or 5 years over Lamar Jackson, who got picked at 32, they was against it. I mean, one of these times you got to go get you a guy. And you might take a risk to do it. You took a risk on Kenny Pickett. I mean, but my first pick, I'm saying Grant, but who I wouldn't mind seeing is the safety out of South Carolina, Nicky E.
Yeah.
Imayori, that's his name?
Yeah.
Something like that. Okay. Yeah, just as a chess piece, man. But I know that didn't work out with the kid from Clemson a few years ago. I was Isaiah Simmons. He never panned out. He just been floundering around the league. He had a lot of hype coming out of Clemson.
A lot of them big workout type safeties. Now Nick he did good at South Carolina last year. His collegiate tape, his overall career is consistent. But when I look at him, I worry about, like you said, Isaiah Simmons or Jeremy Chin has turned out to be a good player, but he was a guy that had a lot of height, huge safety with linebacker measurables and running like a corner. So Nick is a little stiff in coverage, just a little bit. I don't like the fluidity in the hips. Not in this modern day NFL when you got to be in so much. I mean, there's so much pressure on DBs to be, fundamentally sound in pass coverage because teams are going down the field. They're throwing 60% of the time. So that's what I worry about with Nick. Although he made a lot of plays in South Carolina, but that's my concern with him with a first round grade.
No, I see all those too, but even like I said, Jalen Milroe, I see all the knocks in his resume, But sometimes you gotta take a shot. That's all I'm saying.
And
you
people were mad at me
a generational potential talent. Sometimes you gotta go ahead. 21, pick 21. You're not taking a top 5 pick. People don't get fired over taking somebody at 21.
I agree. I got Jackson Dart a little ahead of Milroe, but Milroe in terms of the measurables, he's exactly what you want out of quarterback. So I don't think they'd be too crazy to take him. You need a franchise quarterback. And like you said, 21 ain't nothing crazy. I mean, you don't want Milroe to slide down and then become a guy who puts it together mentally to match the fit. And now he's a perennial Pro Bowler. So they said I was crazy when I thought Milroe would sneak into the first round. But I think the upside is too good to let him slide to, the second round.
I agree with you on 2 levels. Hey, Mr. Woodsy, he not gonna last to the 3rd round. No way.
No.
You see Milroe last to the 3rd round?
League. He won't make it past the Raiders in round 2. Like somebody will.
I got the Browns getting him and beating us for years. They gonna get at the second pick. They gonna get Travis Hunter, and they got 34 in the 2nd round. If he dropped that far, he ain't dropping no 3rd round.
No, he ain't gonna last. He ain't gonna last past. He ain't gonna last to pick number 40. Like I said, if he gets out the 1st round, somebody will either trade up at the end of the 1st round to get him, or trade up at the beginning of the 2nd round to get him. But he wouldn't make it past the Browns and Raiders, assuming they don't take a quarterback in the 1st round. He wouldn't make it past them on the second go around. He wouldn't make it past on day 2.
I agree, and I agree with you. Jackson Dart is better right now, but the only thing Jackson Dart gonna be better at is his floor right now. Ceiling, though, that's what you're taking a shot at. You ain't taking a shot on a solid floor guy right now. That ain't what draft picks is for. That's what the 4th and 5th round is for. Solid floor guys. You know what I mean? So that's my thought on it, man. So thanks for checking us out on the Central Division Showdown with the homies from the Bleachers and Speakers channel and Q from the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan. We appreciate the fellas for joining us. We even gave you a little football towards the end there. Thank everybody. Mr. Woodsy, you've been here the whole time. You're talking crazy, man. I know you one of our regular listeners and part of our live chat fan, man, but Jalen Milroe is not going to be around the 3rd round. It's not.
No, sir. No. No.
So, right. So with that being said, man, we about to go ahead and get out. I'm going to play this outro one more time for June.
Oh,
June, stay in, man. Until next week, Division showdown, we out.